Hi guys and ghouls, so today I have got a video that I have been so excited to make. I have been waiting and waiting and waiting to film this video, and that's because I wanted to test this item out before I came and gave you a full review. So the item which I am of course talking about is this Killstar suitcase. I am so excited by this. It is their first like proper suitcase which they have released. They did release this quite a while ago and I bought this around Easter, so I have had it for a little while, but yeah, I wanted to try it out completely before I gave you a full review because I've seen lots of unboxings and things, but not too many like I have been using this to travel kind of a things. So this is the Coffin suitcase, which is super big. Well, it's too big for me to fit in frame basically, but this is in the shape of a coffin. I will insert a picture right here so you can see it in its entirety. But I ordered this in the Easter sale. I did wait until the sale to buy this just because it is slightly pricey and I did want to get a little bit of moolah off of it. So this suitcase is called the Casket carry case and it does retail at $89.99. If you are wishing to use ClearPay, which they have changed, they used to do a service where it would allow you to pay for it over the course of 6 weeks, but they now do this one which is called ClearPay, which is 4 payments, but it's every other week. So if you are wishing to pay it that way, you would be paying £22.50 every other week. So that kind of does break it down a bit, does make it a little bit more affordable. But as I said, if you wait for a good sale, I think I got mine for around £69–70. So it was about £20 off when I bought it. And I did also use my VIP points as well, so I did get another £10 off. So I did end up paying about £60 for this carry case, although it does retail at £90. So Killstar's little blurb about it just says, "Casket, full stop. Not all vampires travel by moonlight, some you will find on a regular flight. It has a hard protective shell, a custom coffin shape, a bat plaque, a collapsible handle, a zip closure, multiple compartments, wheels, and then it does have the size, which is 53 centimeters by 35 centimeters by 22 centimeters. So, I don't really go on holiday that much. The last 3 years I have been a student and therefore all of my money has gone on food and travelling to university and not really holidays. And I am about to become a full-time primary school teacher. So again, I shan't be going on holiday for a little while, but I am going to Scotland in August, so I will be taking this with me in August. But the reason I bought this is not actually for travelling because, as I said, I don't really travel too much. I actually bought this with me for when I'm going to stay at people's houses. So if I'm perhaps going to a friend's house for the night, I need to take all my makeup and my clothes and my pyjamas and my hair straighteners or whatever. I wanted a bigger bag for that because at the moment I'm just using a rucksack. And the same for if I'm going to Mike's. If I'm going to Mike's for like more than one night, I wanted a slightly bigger bag so I didn't have to like keep popping home to get all my stuff. So that is the reason why I bought this suitcase. It was also one of those things where like I have never seen a coffin shaped suitcase before, and like then suddenly like my life was no longer complete until I got it. So yeah, I basically bought a suitcase. Most of the time I have to admit this suitcase is just a decorational piece in my room. It does sit in front of my wardrobe, but I have used it probably about 10 times since Easter, so I've had a little bit of a play around with it, and definitely I feel like I've used it enough to give you a solid review. So let's go through a few features. So as you can see, it is in a coffin shape. Now I have seen some people describe it as a wood effect that it has on there. So if I take you in a bit closer, you can see that there are these kind of almost lines, like a texture to it. Now, as I said, some people have said this is a wood effect. I'm not sure if I'd call this a wood effect. It just, to me, looks like a line effect. I'm not really sure how I describe it, but it almost looks like, it reminds me of when things are like like plastic printed, like 3D printed. It reminds me of a 3D printer almost, but it has all these lines down it. Now you're not really going to be able to see these lines unless you're like me, like right up close of it. When you're kind of looking from a distance, it just kind of looks like a shiny black, but it definitely does have a nice shine to it. It has this gorgeous bat in the middle, which does actually match the bat which I have on my handbag because I have the TheHauntedBat bag. Now this bat is metal. It is quite a kind of thin, and I have to say it doesn't look like the best quality metal ever, but it is a nice metal. I have got a little scratch on mine already, which is such a shame, but yeah, it's not the best metal, but it is just a little decorational piece, so I'm not too fussed about it. You may be able to see up here there is like a bit of plastic coming out of it. When I received this, it did have a sheet of plastic kind of covering this bat to make sure that it didn't kind of get scratched in the post. Now some people have said that this material, like the kind of hard outer case, does mark quite easily. You can see I've got a bit of a mark up here. Now this mark oddly is showing on camera, but when I'm looking at it in person I can't actually see the mark, which is quite strange. And I have to say, like, I do kind of throw this thing around a lot, and really it hasn't really marked for me at all. Saying that, however, I would definitely 100% not put this in an aeroplane hold. Now within their description it did suggest like, oh, you may find a vampire on a plane. Fantastic, but this I would not put on an aeroplane hold at all. I feel like it would get scratched if it had lots of like things on top of it, but in terms of like my use, I wheel it downstairs, I wheel it to my car, I put it in my car, drive somewhere, take it out my car and wheel it to their room. So it doesn't really kind of have to withstand too much, but I do throw it around, and I'm definitely not very gentle with it, put it that way. I do just kind of chuck it about, and honestly, like, I can't see any major scratches or scuffs, which is really nice. Now this outer material is a hard case, which I like. This top bit is super hard, super sturdy. The same with these like side kind of panels, nice and sturdy. However, when I look at the main thing, there is a little bit of a squish to it. Now I have had suitcases before, definitely not in the shape of a coffin, but like a hard suitcase, which have been rock solid, like to the point where you could sit on it and it wouldn't budge. You can fill it with clothes, it can be empty, it just won't budge. Now this one is quite like flexible, it does bend quite a lot. The more you pack it out with things, the better it gets. Like, it's not as squishy, which completely makes sense because you've got something kind of bulking it out, whereas at the moment it is hollow. But I have to say, when I received this, my first impression was the fact that like this won't withstand like a lot of weight being put onto it. It's fine for its purpose for carrying things and storing things and keeping things safe, but in terms of putting this into an aeroplane hold, I do not know how well it would last. I'm saying as if I'm not pleased with this, but the fact that I haven't bought it for that purpose, I was absolutely fine with. But if you are buying it as a bag for you to take on holiday on an aeroplane, I maybe wouldn't spend that money on it. Some people have said that this is small enough to be hand luggage. Now it's not the biggest suitcase, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I wasn't sure what to expect. It does come with the size measurements on the website, but half the time that means absolutely nothing. I find it very, very hard to visualize things which are a size. If something says it's 7 centimeters, it can turn up and I would think it was probably going to be this big, which I know isn't 7 centimeters, but in my mind I find it very hard to compute like sizes. This is I'd say this is slightly smaller than what I expected. I thought it would perhaps be slightly taller. Saying that though, I'm not sure whether this would be small enough for hand luggage. I guess it depends on your aeroplane company, it depends on your country. I definitely would do your measurements first, but it is quite small, it is quite compact. So there could be a high possibility you could put this in your like hand luggage area. I just think because of the shape of it and like the size of it, I just can't imagine trying to stuff this into like an overhead compartment of a plane. I feel like it just wouldn't quite work, especially as it is this solid thing. When I have flown, I used to fly a lot when I was younger. I take like rucksacks, things which you could kind of squish and manipulate into that little overhead bit. Definitely wouldn't have space to put this by your feet unless you were in like a higher up class of the plane. So yeah, travel wise, I would class this as a weekend bag. The perfect bag to chuck in your car if you're going somewhere for the weekend. Perfect for if you're going on maybe a cruise for a few nights. Plane, I'm not too sure, that's up to your discretion. But this is definitely a weekend bag, and I will come back to that in a moment, but I'm going to show you the rest of the features. So it does have a zip that goes all the way around. On this side there is kind of like a plastic part which just holds the zip together, and from this corner here the zip goes all the way around underneath the bag and back to here, so it opens completely. It completely opens like a book. This is like the only stretch of it that doesn't have zips. It's a very big zip. It's a nice sturdy zip. It is very, very durable. I have packed a lot on here and the zip has held up fine. It does have these very big kind of chunky metal zip pullers that do say Killstar on them. They seem nice. Again, not like the best quality metal in the world, but they do feel very sturdy. And I do like the fact that there are two of them, because it means you can open it however you'd like. Now this zip, definitely when this is open, is quite fiddly. Like the zip sort of goes in and out of each other. It's a little bit of a fiddle. Now don't get me wrong, it doesn't make it impossible to close. I'm just kind of being a bit picky, trying to give you the whole picture, but it is a little bit kind of bouncy around. Once the zip's done up, you're fine. It's not really going to move at all. It's just while it's open, it's not as sturdy as perhaps some others would be. But as for the zip, I'm very happy with the zip. It's nice and kind of thick and chunky, and I like the fact that it opens all the way around. So on the top as well, we do have two different things. Now I did actually have some problem with my carry case when I first got it. So it does have this handle. Now this handle doesn't have too much of a give to it. This is as far as it goes up. This is your carry handle. I use this handle when I'm going up the stairs. It's a super nice quality. It's got a kind of hard plastic on the top and a rubber underneath when you hold it, so it is very comfortable to hold. The only thing is if you wear an obnoxious amount of rings like I do, there's not too much space for your rings to get under. This is pretty much like as far as I can get my hand under there, so it's not very nice if you're having to carry it for a long period, but just for walking up the stairs it's absolutely fine. And it doesn't really have too much move, to be honest. It's quite sturdy, but I like that. It does make it feel nice and secure. And then on the back of the carry case, it does have this kind of plastic section which has the little handle in, and as you can see, I do have sometimes problem with this. Now I can't decide if it's because it is super sturdy or if it's because it's flimsy, which I know sounds ridiculous, but sometimes I have trouble pushing this button in to kind of bring it up. You have to really push that button in quite far to get it to go up. As I said, I'm not sure if this is like a fault or like a feature of mine and that others would be different, but you do have to kind of get your finger in there to pull it up. So there are various different heights. You do have your first setting, which this is a prime example of what happens to mine. As you can see, this is like not the first setting at all. You can see there is like a band here, which is where like this is the extender part, where the top part hasn't fully come out and the other extender part is down there. So if I pull it out, you can see the other one does. I mean, ultimately they will kind of match up in the end, but they just kind of seem to go randomly sometimes. I have to say, this carry part, this kind of bit that you pull out, sometimes works fine, as you can see. Sometimes it is a faff. So this is kind of the first height. I would literally never have it on this height, but it does have this height if you did want it. And then you have the other one. Straight away you can see they're coming out at different paces, and then it kind of gets stuck. This is my prime example of how mine messes up, so I'm kind of glad that you can see this on camera. But if you look, you can see that there's a hole there, a hole there, and a hole there. So you've got 3 different settings that you can have this on. Now this one on this side is on our second setting, which is great. On this side, it's on the first setting, so it needs to actually be in there. So I then kind of end up with this sort of wonky majiggy, and sometimes I have to like put it down and pull it up. I mean, ultimately, it does always go to the right place, but it is a bit annoying. I definitely do feel like this may just be a fault with mine. It's something that perhaps I should have contacted Killstar about, because it can be a bit of a faff when you're opening it when things don't quite work out. But ultimately, once, as you see, like, it's just kind of the opening bit where mine gets a bit wonky. Once it's kind of fully extended, it's fine. And like, I have to honestly tell you, like 90% of the time I will pull it out and it just sorts itself out. It's only like a couple of times where I pull it out and it gets all jammed, where I have to like do that to kind of get it to work. But it's something which I didn't quite expect for the price of it, especially as this is retailed at £90. I didn't expect to have to deal with things like that. It's not a big faff, like it's not a big deal to me, but I want to give you a full honest review since I have been using it, and that's something which has been a little bit annoying. Again, as I said, I probably should have contacted Killstar and asked for like a refund or an exchange or something, but the fact it didn't kind of shows you it wasn't too big of a deal. So you've got these functions at the top, you've got the zip round, the back is completely black, and the front has our little bat on. And then underneath, I'm going to turn it upside down. This is how the bottom of it looks. So the bottom does have various different wheels going on. You have a wheel on every corner. I really like these wheels. It's not something that I've ever really wanted for a, well, put it this way, I usually have 2 wheels at the back of my suitcase. I never realised having 4 wheels would change the suitcase experience as much as it did. So it does have these 4 wheels. They do, as you can see, roll completely in circles, which is amazing. They are so smooth, it's unreal. Like, you can turn a corner and these wheels just do their thing. Obviously, like, the wheels are turning and then these bits are rotating. It's such a smooth drive as such. This will just go in any direction because you've got the 4 as well. Sometimes it just goes on the corners, on the backs. If you hold it like kind of straight down, it will use all 4 of them. Honestly, these wheels are amazing. They have been kind of a bit scratched up by my usage of them, but then like their wheels, like they're rolling across the floor, they're running across grass and bricks and gravel, like they're going across everything, and honestly they've held up like so well. I've had no issues with these wheels and I am very pleased with the drive of this. I feel like it is very smooth and I'm really pleased with these, which again makes me feel like this would be perfect for an overnight thing where you are having to wheel your bag around a bit. So now I'm gonna actually go inside my suitcase. I'm gonna try and hold it up to show you, but as I said, it is relatively hard to get it all on camera. I'm just gonna bring this zip around a little bit. So as you can see, this suitcase does open completely like a book. Now this is the front of it and it opens like this. So this suitcase does open. Now the reason I'm going back to this being an overnight bag is the fact that this bag seems to have 1,000,001 compartments, but when it comes to actually putting your clothes in, there doesn't really seem to be that much space, I'm going to be honest with you. So like, I'd say the maximum, for me anyway, like obviously I carry maybe more than some people or less than some people. For me, I can get maximum 3 nights worth of stuff in here. On this side we have a big kind of hollow compartment. This compartment is completely hollow. It does have a stretchy kind of clip band which pops open and you can put things in. Now there is also a zip at the back of here, which is to me completely pointless, but if I open it up you'll see that all you're kind of revealed with is the guts of the suitcase. So inside you can just see these 2 kind of metal bars which are to do with the thingamabobby. And other than that, that's it really. So I guess maybe if you had some holiday money or some gold and diamonds, you could hide it back here, but to me that bit is completely pointless. You can't really fit anything much in there. Other than that, you have your nice kind of big empty hollow part with these stretchy bits. Now this section I usually use for my laptop. I'll put my laptop in the back. I also put my palettes in here if I'm taking my makeup bag, any hair stuff, toothbrushes, cosmetics, anything non-clothing related I put in this side, and this is very good quality. It's very nice and sturdy and it fits in there perfectly. Now this is the side I keep my clothes in. So on this side you do have this kind of stretchy front compartment, which is perfect for like underwear or like brushes or anything like that, and then it opens up and reveals another kind of clothing compartment, and this is the main compartment I'd put my clothes in. Now it does also have one of these ridiculous like random zips at the bottom where you can just go into the guts of the suitcase, but again, like, there's nothing really that you'd put in there, nothing spectacular. But this is the main area I'd put clothing in. As I said, like, I could probably get about 3 days worth of clothes in here, but then I am kind of taking it in the fact that I'm only using half the suitcase for clothes, half for like other things to carry. This does fit in like a good amount for a few days, and then I like the fact that you can like zip it up and away, like it keeps it all nice and compact, and then you have this additional bit. Now hopefully you'll be able to see that on the material it's a very kind of like satiny, silky material. It does have the little Killstar logo all over it. All the innards has this kind of Killstar logo going across it, like every part of it, and that's how kind of the inside bit looks. Again, all the kind of zips as well say Killstar on them, and everything just seems to be very nicely constructed and a really nice quality inside. Once you have filled that up, you can zip it all together. I like to have my zips at the top, otherwise they meet at the bottom, and it's just, I don't know, it just makes me feel a bit uneasy that it could like gravity could do its thing and open it for you. But yeah, I am pretty happy with this. I have to say it is a nice quality. It is slightly smaller than I expected. If anything, for me that kind of worked in my benefit, because it means it makes it the perfect overnight bag. I say overnight bag I took this with me when I was just staying at Mike's one night, and it felt so excessive to be carrying this massive bag like with me, because I have my overnight bag right here still with my laptop in it, but I usually take this Iron Fist backpack with me just because it can fit everything in it, but taking like a whole suitcase with me seemed very excessive. But saying that, if I have got a lot to carry, if I'm taking my laptop and clothes, maybe if we're going out and I need my makeup and I need to straighten my hair while I'm there, like if I need to take lots of stuff, this is perfect. It just means it's a bit easier, everything can go in one bag, and I have to say this bag does get very heavy, and the handles and things do withstand the excessive weight I do put in it. But yeah, I'm really pleased with it. I have to say, like, is it worth £90? I think it depends how often you're going to use it. For me, like, I like this kind of thing as a display item as well. I know some people would perhaps just use it and then put it back in their cupboard, but for me, I kind of keep it out. It is a bit annoying because I have to like wheel it around my room when it's in the way. But yeah, for me, I think it just adds, like, when you come in my room, like another little cute thing to look at. But yeah, I am pleased with it, and definitely for the discounted price, I think it's totally worth it. I believe on Kate's Clothing at the moment, they do have it for 25% off, which is amazing. So definitely shop around. Killstar isn't the only place where you can buy this specific bag. It is Killstar's bag, but you can get it on places like Kate's Clothing as well. But yeah, super pleased with it, and I'm sure it's going to get a lot more use. I'm really excited to like go house sitting and go on holiday and things, because it means I can take everything in this nice bag. So far I've just been using this like old grotty like black suitcase that it's not like a spooky suitcase at all, it's just like a suitcase which I had and works. But yeah, this definitely adds to the style. So this bag was delivered in a massive Killstar box. I did order a dress and a few other things with it. When you're ordering this with a dress and like tights and stuff, the clothing doesn't seem so interesting because you're like too busy unwrapping this massive box. But it came in a big box. I believe it may have actually come by courier, but it got here absolutely fine. I didn't need to sign for it. It was wrapped in a dust bag. I've been keeping this dust bag to show you because I'm not really a big dust bag person, but it does come with this massive brown bag, so you can put it back in the bag if you did want to. And does it have a sealy thing? Yeah, like seal it up to stop it getting dusty or scratched if you're putting it in the roof. This is a really nice quality bag. It's nice and thick, and yeah, a dust bag if you wanted a dust bag for it. It does come with this as standard. And then something that I thought would be quite cute if you were traveling would be to also use this. Now I got this from Spooky Box Club. It was many moons ago that I got this, and I have been waiting to find a spooky suitcase to put this on. It is just a suitcase strap, so this could be a really nice kind of addition to kind of strap it around there if you wanted to. Although I'm pretty sure these like luggage straps are meant to go round your luggage so that when it comes out on the conveyor belt you can tell which one is yours really nicely. But yeah, I thought I'd just include this because perhaps if you're like me and you've had this like luggage thing sat around for ages and you're like, am I ever going to use this? Well, rest assured it looks amazing on the Coffin bag. So I will leave links down below to this suitcase. I will also leave links to the Killstar website in case you'd like to check out any more of their clothes along with my Killstar playlist, because I am a self-proclaimed Killstar addict. I will leave also the link to Kate's clothing, and if I can still find that discount code I will leave it down in the description for you. You are welcome. Thank you very much for watching. If you do have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. If it's anywhere you are, I hope you're enjoying the shade, and I will see you next time. Bye!